Once upon a time in a small, bustling village nestled between the hills, lived a man named Amir and a woman named Layla. They were as different as night and day. Amir was a man of great generosity, known throughout the village for his kindness. He never hesitated to share his wealth with those in need, and he believed that the more one gave, the more one received in return. Layla, on the other hand, was known for her stinginess. She counted every coin carefully and refused to part with her wealth unless absolutely necessary. She believed that saving every penny was the key to security and happiness. Despite their contrasting personalities, fate had brought them together, and they fell in love. Their wedding was a grand affair, organized entirely by Amir, who spared no expense to ensure that everyone in the village was invited, well-fed, and entertained. Layla, though uneasy about the lavishness, agreed to the celebration out of love for Amir. After all, she thought, marriage was about compromise. Scold him each time, reminding him of the importance of saving for their future. One evening, a poor beggar knocked on their door, shivering in the cold. Amir, without hesitation, invited the man in, gave him a warm meal, and offered him some clothes. Layla stood by, frowning, calculating the cost of the meal and the clothes in her head. "Why must you always give so much?" she asked Amir after the beggar left. "We cannot keep helping everyone who asks. What will happen when we have nothing left?" Amir smiled gently. "Layla, we are blessed. What we give to others, we give with an open heart. There will always be enough for us, as long as we share what we have. One day leave them penniless." One winter, the village was struck by a terrible drought. Crops failed, and food became scarce. Many families struggled to make ends meet, and people began knocking on Amir and Layla's door more frequently. Amir gave what he could, but soon, even he began to worry about their own survival. One night, as Layla sat in their small kitchen, staring at the dwindling supplies, she felt a pang of guilt. Despite all her savings, she realized that her hoarding had done little to help the people around her. The next day, Layla made a decision. She gathered all the money she had secretly saved and brought it to Amir. "Here," she said, placing the jars on the table. "I have been keeping this, fearing the future, but I see now that you were right. It is not wealth that brings us happiness or security. It is the love and community we build through kindness." Amir looked at her in surprise, then smiled warmly. "We will use this to help those who need it most," he said. "And in return, we will find that we have more than we could ever need." Together, they distributed the money to those in the village who were struggling. Word of their generosity spread, and soon, people from neighboring villages came to offer help in return. The drought ended, and the village prospered once more. From that day on, Layla and Amir lived in harmony. Layla learned the value of generosity, and Amir, in turn, understood the importance of careful planning.